I'm standing in a dust cloud because the car just drove by. The sun is shining right into my eyes and you're probably not hearing me because there's so much wind. So we're pretty much off to a good start. I want to shoot a sunset later on, but I'm actually here quite a bit earlier. So I thought I'm just going to explore a little bit. So I found this beautiful tree over here. It looked incredibly yellow from the distance. Beautiful. And I want to frame it up, but surroundings are, let's call it suboptimal. If everything went to plan, I would have now told you about this wonderful yellow tree that I already saw from the distance, how I would have liked to frame it up, how the surroundings didn't quite work, so I had to go for more of an abstract shot, and how I accomplished that. However, there was so much wind and car noise that the audio was completely unusable. Now to explain the shot to you, I wanted to go for a wide angle one, but the surroundings didn't quite fit at all. It was just completely unbalanced and the blue sky was very distracting. So I went for an abstract shot of a close-up of the yellow leaves with the blue sky in the background. Enjoy the image. We might not even get a sunrise, because have a look over there. All these clouds over here, they're moving in towards the direction and they're probably going to block the sun in a couple of minutes. So it might just be the last couple of minutes of sunlight that we're going to get today. So, but even if that does happen, I don't think it's too bad because the clouds look somewhat dark already and they have a really deep and rich bluish tone to them. So we might be in for some more dramatic and moody atmospheric images instead of sunset, but yeah, I'm fine with that. So let me get you over here. Everything's a little bit unstable today. So there's a lot of color contrast in this image because, as I've just mentioned, the tip of the branches of this tree, they're catching this golden light right now. And then there's contrast between the background because the background, the sky, it's somewhat darkish and it has this bluish tone. So you have the contrast between light and dark, but at the same time, these golden, brighter, warmer colors, and then the kind of darkish, cool colors in the background. So yeah, it's really beautiful. It really makes the sunlight shine even more, give it more emphasis with this contrasty dark background. Okay, so I'm finally off the road, no distractions, just the wind, the breeze, some calm landscape photography. So the sunset is actually quite a lot less impressive than I was hoping for. It just looks like there's some sort of explosion going on over there in the clouds. So that's quite cool. There are some catching some orange light. It's very subtle, so to speak. That was not what I was hoping for. So what I think makes this image is the framing, because I'm giving quite a lot of space to the tree. I wanted to have room to breathe. Don't want it to be too punched in, which I could do. There's a way in the background which is kind of leading away, and I quite like that, and I like to have some of the curvature in the field to be visible, and I'm getting all of that by zooming out a little bit further. So then I'm gonna exposure blend this composition. I'm taking 3 exposures, one for the sky, one for the tree, and then one kind of in the middle so I can blend them together more seamlessly. Yeah, I mean, maybe the clouds will catch some pink light, some red light. Maybe it has happened quite a lot the last couple evenings. But to be honest, it doesn't look like that. It looks like this is going to be all that we're going to get. That's it. Okay. Can't always get what I want, right? So I think that's going to be it for the evening, because the clouds aren't going to catch any more light and the last bit of light is almost gone. I do quite like the blue and rich deep tones over there, but there's nothing really to shoot. So, I mean, there's one more tree over there, which actually looks interesting, but I don't really know. You know what? I'm going to walk over there and have a look at that tree, because it does look somewhat interesting. As I've mentioned, I do quite like the colors, just the surroundings are very hard. So it might work, might not, but I'm gonna have a look at that. So I'm not too happy with the images today because I think there could have been more. You know, sometimes the surroundings, the conditions, the light, not every day it works out. So yeah, sometimes it's just gonna be like that. So if you like my style of photography, I have a course available. It's the first link in the description. And for example, I teach you in there how to do exposure blendings like that, where you can have multiple exposures, one for the sky, one for the foreground, which might be darker, and then blend them together seamlessly. Tips and tricks of the camera, what you need to take into account when being out in the field, everything you need to know to start out. So you might be interested in that, check it out. And if you like my images, you might want to have some of them framed up on your walls to print. I have some of them available. It's also in the description. It's never over until it's over, right? I'm getting really creative with this one. So I'm placing the tree pretty much on the left-hand side of the frame. Not just a little bit off center, but totally on the left-hand side. It's completely unbalanced. On the right-hand side, there are just very tiny electricity poles in the far distance. And then, as I've mentioned, all this sky with the rich, deep blue colors. So the reason that I'm placing the tree on the left-hand side of the frame is just because of the way it's grown. So the stump of the tree is actually not in the center as it would usually be, but it's quite heavy on the left-hand side. So that's why I think it could work, by just placing it off balance and just creating some visual interest to that. I'm really curious to see how this is going to turn out. That's how you improve your photography, right? Working with suboptimal conditions and being creative and trying to make it all work. Also, I'm going to underexpose this image quite a lot. There's not going to be too much detail in the tree because I really want this rich, deep, dark color in the clouds to come through. Also like the colors, there's some light spot over there on the right hand side of my frame while the tree is on the left hand side. So that helps a little bit with not having it too dominant on the left hand side. Honestly, I think that could be the best shot that I got today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Nonetheless, like, share, subscribe and write a comment about this image that I'm going to show you just in a second. Thank you for the support. See you in the next one.